All right, dude. Let's get into something here that is just so stupid.
Okay, just a stupid topic?
No, it's a topic that we've covered, but it's ridiculous to what proportions that this same thing just keeps popping up again and again.
Okay, cool.
About a year ago, it's been about a year and several months now.
Okay.
That everybody and their brother, be it the state governments, commercial entities such as Amazon, eBay, etc., everybody decided that now is time that the Confederate flag is bad.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, of course, doing away with the Confederate flag was just going to stop any kind of racism going on.
Yeah, that worked.
And as you're well aware, Mississippi, the quote-unquote, the stars and bars are still a part of their flag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because that's their state flag. That's
sure.
It represents something. And the thing is that everybody, and I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people think that's just a racist symbol. Okay. It's just flat out a racist symbol.
Yeah.
And it's representative of a lot of things. Yes, was there slavery involved under the Confederate flag? Yes, there was. But there was also atrocities committed under our current American flag.
I know, Colin Kaepernick told me.
Well, not only that, but if you want to talk about the Native Americans,
yeah.
If you want the Indians, which of course that's not a politically correct term today either.
Yeah.
They were basically, their land was basically stolen from them, and they were, forced to live in reservations, and the Confederate, or not the Confederate, but the
American flag.
No, the guys in the blue uniforms. What do they?
Not the Yankees.
Well,
Yankees, redcoats.
Well, they got into wars and the battles with them and stuff. Yeah. But whatever. If you want to really assign atrocities to history, even our current American flag would be considered a divisive symbol.
Sure.
If you want to look at it that way.
Okay.
Well, anyway, out in California, they have a county fair.
Okay.
And have you've been to county fairs, haven't you?
Not in California, but
no, anywhere.
Sure.
And the people who go to county fairs, they have a tendency to be, just
fat.
Well, I'm not really looking for that.
Toothless.
Well, they have a tendency to be the I don't know what you want to call it.
Wearing suspenders.
The your typical Walmart shopper.
Yeah, fat. Little stupid.
Well, let's just use another term, a little less sophisticated.
All right, stupid. Paint chip eaters.
Right.
Too many hits in the head without a helmet.
Right.
Those people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to chow down on some elephant ears, which is basically fried dough.
Coated with sugar.
Coated with cinnamon and sugar, or chow down on some cotton candy or a corn dog.
Exactly, for like $8 for each.
Yeah. Or check out the Future Farmers of America barns and see the tractor pulls and stuff.
You want to get on a Ferris wheel put together by two toothless guys with one wrench.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead. Go to the fair.
Exactly. So those are your typical fair goer.
Right.
I mean, I've been to a few fairs. I've seen, what goes on there. Mm-hmm. In fact, you have a fairly large fair not far from you. In fact, it's near where Mikey lives. Is the Canfield Fair.
Okay.
And that's a big regional fair.
Let me make plans to not be there.
Well, anyway, getting back to this. So out in California, California Government Code 8195 provides that the state of California may not sell or display the battle flag of the Confederacy, also referred to as the Stars and Bars, or any similar image, tangible personal property inscribed with such an image, unless the images appears in a book, a digital medium, or a state museum that serves as an educational or a historical purpose.
Wow. They're not fucking around.
Yeah. So basically, it can't be displayed on a state property. That's what they're basically saying.
Okay.
Read narrowly that this would be constitutional. The California legislature is generally free to decide what speech the state engages in. But it looks as though the state is now reading this as prohibiting even the display of private citizens' paintings in venues such as county fair art shows, and even in a context where basically all other submissions are displayed so that the government isn't just selecting a few paintings or display because it thinks they are the best. A lawsuit filed by the Center for Individual Rights argues that this violates the First Amendment.
Okay.
Plaintiff Timothy Desmond is a resident of Fresno County. The plaintiff is both an artist and a Civil War buff. In 2015, the plaintiff created a painting called The Attack, which depicts a scene from the 1864 siege of Atlanta.
Okay.
The painting includes several individuals carrying flags, one of which was the second national Confederate States flag used at the time of the Confederacy.
Right.
The Big Fresno Fair is operated under the authority of the California Department of Food and Agriculture. Among the activities, the fair displays the artwork, including paintings, and the Department of Food and Agriculture prescribes regulations for the fair, including the judging of exhibits. Any resident of the Fresno County may submit a painting for display.
Right.
Plaintiff has submitted artwork in the past for displays at the fair. The plaintiff submitted The Attack for the 2015 fair for display and was later told that he should pick up The Attack because it could not be displayed with other artwork at the fair. Theodore Schreiber, the director of the Fine Arts program for the fair, Fine Arts.
Fine Arts.
Fine Arts, that's what I find at the fair. Told the plaintiff that the painting could not be displayed under the California law that prohibited the state from displaying the Confederate flag.
Oh, brother.
So this is a Confederate war scene.
Yeah.
And the soldiers in the scene are carrying a Confederate flag. Mm-hmm. So they said you can't put your painting out there because it has a Confederate flag displayed.
Fucking Communist California strikes again. Right?
Yeah. When plaintiff picked up the painting, the exhibits and concessions manager of the fair told him that the fair had received a written notice from the State Fairs and Exposition Branch the previous June stating that the law in question prohibited the display of any artwork that includes the Confederate flag, and that she had confirmed that prohibition of the office of the Attorney General. She also told plaintiff that the painting had been deemed worthy of an award by the judges. He would have to receive it despite the fact that the attack was not displayed. So it was good enough to get an award, but not good enough to show.
So they met him off-site somewhere to hand him his award.
Meet us behind the dumpster by the cattle barn.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody we're there.
We'll give you your ribbon behind the dumpster by the cattle barn.
It's blue with red letters, but don't tell anybody.
Exactly.
Same colors.
Mm-hmm. plaintiff was to submit the attack for display at the 2016 fair. Plaintiff continues to paint and plans to create more paintings depicting the Civil War battles, some of which will depict flags associated with the Confederacy. He wants to submit some of the paintings to the fair in the future for display. Defendant's enforcement of Section 8195 is a viewpoint-based restriction on speech in violation of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
While the plaintiff will continue in his case that the fair created a public forum for the display of privately created artwork, this motion need not address the question. Even in the forums were limited or non-public, the government may restrict access only as long as the restrictions are reasonable and are not an effort to suppress expression merely because the public officials oppose the speaker's views.
Well, that sounds like exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
As applied to the display of privately created art at the county fair, Section 8195 is not a reasonable regulation. It has nothing to do whatsoever to do with the quality of the art, the size of the art, or its ability to display, or its ability to be displayed. In these respects, the attack is no different from other artwork that could be displayed in the Fresno Fair. The only possible government interest here is the interest in avoiding the appearance of government endorsements of messages.
Why would anybody? Have you ever, you've been to these fairs?
I have.
Have you ever looked at, I don't know, a fucking car, a tractor pulled, whatever?
Sure.
Whatever's there, whatever they're doing. You've seen all that shit, right?
Absolutely.
Have you ever for one fucking second ever thought, man, local government supporting that truck?
No.
Have you ever thought, man, the local government is supporting that fucking falafel guy?
No.
How about, any contest that's ever happened? Do you ever think, man, I can't believe the contest is supported by the local government?
Sure.
You've seen bands play at these things, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever think, my God, I can't believe that the state of California is supporting Jackal tonight?
Right.
This is the dumbest shit ever.
Well, the thing is that this fear of these racially sensitive claims is just so over the top anymore that in order to avoid any kind of litigation or controversy or because it just takes one of these liberal fucks to go, you know what? The California government runs that Fresno Fair and they're blatantly displaying that racist symbol, the Confederate flag, because we all know how they feel about minorities.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. So
how is it that they can get this bullshit passed this fast for this fucking flag, but the Westboro Baptist Church can still go out and protest?
But they're not government supported though.
But they're still out there. But they're against government issue.
Yeah, but they're not protesting on government land.
Neither's the on government land. Okay, I guess on government land.
Well, see, this Fresno Fair takes place on government property.
So is the solution to all this shit to just do things on private property?
I guess.
Just tell the state to go fuck itself?
Yeah, more or less.
It's amazing. It's amazing what we've turned into. Not we, the government.
Yeah, well, this is a state-run fair.
Yeah. Well,
So this would be displayed in the state-run confines.
Dumb as shit.
Now, that Westboro Baptist Church, regardless of your thoughts on them, is despicable or deplorable, or even if you agree with their viewpoint, which is, kind of wacky. But regardless of that, they're not being sponsored by the government, and they're not protesting on government property.
Right. So, in other words, you do have freedom of speech as long as you don't do it on government.
Correct. That's correct.
So fucking stupid.
Right, because if you do it on government property or during a government-supported event, it looks like they're endorsing that behavior.
Yeah, it's just dumb. So apparently you cannot endorse an amendment to a government document because it's on government property. You can't endorse the Second Amendment or the freedom of speech First Amendment because it's on a government property. That's the dumbest shit ever.
I know. But this is how convoluted it is. Well, it would be no different than somebody jumping in our chat room and spouting off a lot of stuff and you kicked them out.
Yeah.
And they go, you're killing my freedom of speech, man. And the thing is, in that same context, they don't have freedom of speech. Freedom of speech doesn't mean that you can go into a private entity and do whatever you want. It means that the government can't shut you down.
Right. Mm-hmm.
See, people don't realize that freedom of speech is where the government can't censor you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they also don't realize that just because you have freedom of speech doesn't mean that you have freedom of consequence either.
That's correct as well.
You know, they all think, oh, I could just do whatever, say whatever I want. No, you can't. If you get punched in the fucking mouth, that's your fucking fault.
Exactly.
You know, you antagonized it.
It's the government does not endorse any of the privately created artwork simply because it displays it as a county fair, just as it does not endorse any livestock shown at the fair. Everyone understands that the message of the artwork displayed are the messages of the individual artist who created them. And if that fact were not patently obvious, the government could easily avoid any possible misunderstanding by simply posting a sign indicating that the display of the artwork at the fair does not constitute a government endorsement.
Yeah, they don't want to do that because they want to censor you. Right?
That's correct.
You're right. They could easily just put a sign up, but they don't want to.
Yeah, this does not reflect the viewpoint of the government or the state or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Because artwork is subjective.
Yep.
You know? All right. Anyway, let's see here. Where were we at? The notion that the state was trying to avoid endorsing a message from a privately created artwork is undetermined by the fact that although it could not be displayed, the attack was still eligible to receive the award. The notion that such an award would not constitute an endorsement, but that its display would is just unreasonable.
Right. Not
only can't we show it, but it's good enough to get a prize.
Wow.
This is just how convoluted everything has become.
So stupid.
Section 8195 prohibits the display of the Confederate flag, also clearly amounts to impermissible viewpoints of discrimination. Viewpoint discrimination is a form of content discrimination in which the government targets not the subject matter, but the particular views taken by speakers on a subject.
Right.
So, basically what that boils down to is just like, well, you know what? To remove any and all issues at all, we just won't have any at all.
Yeah. Well, we'll babysit everybody.
Yeah.
You guys, you're not grown up enough to handle this, so we'll babysit you.
Sure.
Idiots.
It is. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
And there's a little more to this particular story.
Yeah.
This comes from the Los Angeles Times.
Okay.
When California legislature passed a law 2 years ago banning state government from selling or displaying Confederate flags, the measure seemed silly and not particularly meaningful. The ancient and offensive battle flag of the Confederacy was not flown regularly, if ever, on the state property.
Right.
And why would it have been? But the Capitol gift shop was selling replica Civil War era money depicting images of the stars and bars that was offensive to at least one lawmaker's mother.
Oh, poor baby.
Offensive.
Poor mom.
More significantly, legislators said a ban would send a powerful message that California has no tolerance for racist images used to perpetuate bigotry and violence.
Yeah, we're free speech.
Right. In the law by Senator Isidore Hall, seemed innocuous then, but because people don't foresee all the ways it might be used, and now we have one disturbing, I love these buzzwords, example of the unintended consequences courtesy of the Fresno County Fair. Last year, Timothy Desmond, a retired school teacher and Civil War buff, submitted a painting to the big Fresno Fair that depicted Confederate soldiers just before the 1864 siege of Atlanta. As works of art go, the attack is never going to be mistaken for a lesser-known piece by one of the old masters. It's amateurish and even a bit cartoonish, but quality is not the requirement of the county fair's fine art competition.
Fine art at the fucking fair.
Which is open to everyone over 18 years of age in Fresno County.
Right.
Nevertheless, fair officials barred Desmond's work from being displayed because one of the soldiers in the picture carries a Confederate flag. Oh, the horror of it all.
Terrible.
Never mind the image in question. It's just one element of many of the paintings, and it's certainly not the focal point. Never mind that it's historically accurate, and never mind that the flags are often used in art to give visual cues as to when and where the scene took place.
No, don't think of those things.
The flag in that picture, officials decided meant including the piece in the competition. It violates the 2015 law.
Right. Here's my question. So we know that it was the soldiers of the South that flew that flag, right?
Correct.
Why are people not upset about portrayal of them? Like wearing the coats and stuff?
They were wearing their gray uniform, their Confederate uniform.
Yeah, shouldn't we be outraged and, and scared and needing a safe space when we see people like when these what do they call those things? The recreations?
Yeah, the recreating the Civil War.
Battle? Yeah. Shouldn't we be outraged that we see these people with their uniforms on?
Right.
How far do we take this? I think we should take it all the way. I think we should actually give back those states and make them not United States anymore.
Sure.
South. Anything that ever flew a flag should not be part of the United States now. What do you think of that?
I can see the guy who officiates over this battle recreation, the Battle of Gettysburg or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Northern soldiers over here, racist over there.
Exactly. Hey, take that flag down. You can only use a blank sheet.
Yeah, we'll pretend it has stars and bars on it.
And we'll pretend we know what it means.
Yeah.
Use the ISIS flag, but we'll know what it means.
Sure. This is an absurd application of the law that was not intended, at least not ostensibly, to police artistic expression or speech in a public forum such as the fair's art show. Worse, it sets a dangerous precedent. How might this be interpreted for school art projects or works displayed in a library? Yeah. The law specifically exempts books, works in the museum, and a digital document for historical or educational purposes, but not art in other forms. That's nuts. It also defines common sense. It defies common sense. The state has every right to decide not to hang up a Confederate flag in its house, but extending the ban to individual creatives' expression is ill-considered.
Right.
And possibly unconstitutional. Desmond is suing the fair and state officials in federal court. The fair is a state-operated entity. We hope the state officials decide not to spend time or money to defend this attack on Desmond's First Amendment rights to paint a Civil War scene as he sees fits.
I hope he does sue and wins.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is suing.
I hope he wins like $3 million.
Sure.
Great.
So there you are. So our government, be it state or local or national, has gone wacky over a flag.
Bunch of fucking twats.
Did you ever notice how there's been a major drop in racism since they banned the flag?
I really have. Everybody's been getting along so well ever since literally since the day they canceled Dukes of Hazzard on TV.
And who was the guy who owns the General Lee? He was going to paint it over, that country singer.
Yeah,
it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, I don't want to be racist.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah,
that guy owns the General Lee from the show, and he was going to paint over the Confederate flag on the roof.
Yeah, well, he's going to paint a freedom flag.
Oh, stop it. You're ruining an icon.
Yeah, put the homo flag on top.
Yeah, why don't you put that gay striped flag on top?
Yeah, exactly, the fag flag.
Yeah.
I mean, not we, but
the royal we.
Bigoted people.
Yeah. It's just stupid. Yeah. I don't get it. But anyway, that's the world we live in.
Thanks, Obama.